Okay, this is the Dove Lady, and I am going to show how to make the Merkaba out of 4 pieces of paper. I fold them into a stage of folding the dove, or you could call it the crane. It's the same folds as the crane is, to the stage called the diamond stage. And then I unfold the whole thing and put them together in such a way that I make the Merkaba. And she wanted to see how that was done. So these are the pieces of paper that were square, now folded into the first triangle, which is like a big pyramid. And then you fold them a second time, and it kind of gives you the butterfly look. Uh-oh, I don't want that to go back yet. I want to do it on my terms. You fold it into the butterfly stage. Now remember, the little butterflies split their wings, and this is a little bit tricky, but you have to go take your finger and put it inside the wing part all the way up to this point right here, and press it down flat, and it'll look like this one right here. That's where the butterfly becomes the box, the talking box with the divided tongue that doesn't always say what it means and doesn't always do what it says. But anyway, when you get to that stage, you make all 4 of them go there. Now, I've got them all 4 into that stage in this picture. Next picture. This is the part where you become the kite. And you fold in one side to the middle, making sure it doesn't go past that middle part there. You do it on one side, turn it over, and do it on the opposite side. This is making the kite. In the dove story, the kite is what went up there looking for all the theories on who we are and where we're going and all that. Now I'm going to put the dove story in the description bar, because it was when I discovered the dove story that I learned how to make all these other things, and that had to do with folding paper, because I play. I'm just like a kid. And Spirit had told me the day I got the dove story through automatic writing, Spirit had told me that I can learn as much, even more, through play. I think that's true, because energy follows the path of least resistance. And when you're doing something childlike, something fun, then you're not under any kind of stress. So you're at an energy level that's real easy for you to feel Spirit come through, because you're playing and having fun. There's a lot to be said for studying, but playing and having fun has a big part to play too. And also another thing is you get real intimate with the paper. I mean, you're holding it, you're folding it, you're looking at it this way and that way. You're just getting very involved with the paper. And then when you make things that call for, like, now fold 180 of these a certain way, you're going to do it, and you're going to be in a meditative state, because your brain doesn't have to think about how to fold it once you've folded it several times. Then your hands know how to, your hands have learned how to do it. And that's a really good way to meditate, because you're not thinking of the folds so very much, but you're meditating. Now there they are, all folded, and now we've got to unfold in order to go to the next step, which is the diamond. Now you see how I put my finger in there? See if that shows up well. Kind of dark looking. But you just put your finger inside and make it open up and flatten out. And you do that to all 4 of them. There, I've got all 4 of them ready to be opened up and flattened out. Oh, skip that. You don't have to do that step. I put that in by mistake. After you open it up, these are the creases of the paper that you will see. And these creases help you to make the Merkaba because you're going to use these creases. I'll show you how. Okay, now there's another picture. You're going to cut this part here. You're going to cut a big X through the middle along those crease lines of just two of the pieces of paper, not the other. You want just only two of them cut that way. Now you're going to take these two pieces of paper, one of them cut in the middle, see, like that, and place it over one not cut in the middle. See how they are? Two of them, and I have the creases with this side up on either side. You can't see it on the underside, but it's the same way. Only it's the piece that doesn't have a cut. Okay, now you're going to have to glue those two pieces, not glue, tape those two pieces of paper together. And that's me taping it. You can't see the tape too well there, but you tape it all the way around the perimeter. There's a close-up of the tape going on. Then you see how each side of this will bend in because you got those crease marks. And you could stick your finger in there through that hole that you made when you made the little X to help this happen. You just have to work with this. You can do it. It's not too hard to do because you already have your crease lines. And when you first fold it, make those crease lines real intense. I mean, don't just barely crease it. Just make it a firm crease line because it'll be that much more helpful to you when you get ready to do this part. Okay, now you see how the sides are coming in? All these sides are going to come in. Now they're pretty much in, and I've got that open area because I'm going to be putting paper mache on this, and that's wet, and that's going to kind of make it sag if it gets too wet, and it needs some firmness. So I put just a little bit of toilet paper inside each of these 4 points. Not too much because you're going to have to fold it still more, but you want a little bit in there. But you don't want to just jam it full because then you can't make your next fold if you put too much in there. See how this one shows me putting about that much in each one of the points just to give it a little firmness. Okay, and now you fold it in. You'll see the folds are just right for pressing one side of it in. And if you had too much paper stuffed in there, you couldn't make this fold, so that's why I say don't put too much of the toilet paper in there to fill that up. And here's the next picture. See, I've got 2 sides folded in. Now I'm going to, this line right here, that's going to go in, and it'll begin to look like this. Now all of this, you have to tape it together. Don't worry about anything, how it looks, or how the tape shows, or the glue, or whatever, because you're going to cover all this with paper mache. So you're going to push these 2 sides together like you did the other one, and you really won't know how to do this until you start doing it. So, just play around with it. Now, when you've got that all taped together on that side, you turn it over, and the other side that didn't get pressed in will look like this. It makes the base of it, the square. And you've got 2 of them. Now I did the second one. And see how I've got it all taped together there? Now, there's that one done. I'm showing the toilet paper stuck in there in that one. I'm just showing it over and over. Okay, now I got them both made here. Now what I'm going to do is place one on top of the other and tape that together It's a little bit difficult to tape, but I'm going to be putting hot glue on it. But as best you can, tape it together one side to the other side. And there you have your Merkaba. That's the form that you're going to be working with. Now, you want to take some hot glue. That's hot glue right there. See that in the middle? But not just right there. You want to put it all along the seams. See, I've got it right here. I've got it around the middle part. And you can't get too much hot glue on it, because the more the better, really. Because that stiffens it, because I'm going to be putting the wet paper mache onto this, and I don't want it to cave in. So this hot glue gives it stiffness even more. And there it is. I'm about ready now to start putting the paper mache on. I glued even the seams where 2 pieces of paper touch. I put probably more than I really needed to on it, but I really wanted to make this strong. Now, this is a bowl with water and Elmer's glue mixed together in it. Don't ask me how much of each. You can just judge that yourself. Just put a little water in there and quite a little bit of Elmer's glue and start shredding toilet paper. And the smaller you shred it, the smaller it is, the easier it'll be for it all to mush up. And you mush it. You just mush it like that. And then when you have it at the right consistency, you begin, I use a toothbrush to do it, you begin putting it on to the paper form. And it should go on and look something sort of like this. If it's too wet and it's not thick enough, it won't go on good. But you don't want it too thick, but you want it just right. But you'll know how to determine when it's just right. It goes on easier when it's just right, the paper mache. Now, I always set mine on this glass thing. And then, here it is. This is all that you can cover the first time. And that leaves some bottom parts that you can't get to. But you can't turn it over right away to get to them, because otherwise it would mess up the top part, because that's still real soft. So what you have to do is wait a couple of days. And this will dry enough that it's stable enough to turn the thing upside down. See, that's another view of it I took. You can stick a little paper mache on the bottom parts, but it's not, you really can't get to it good until you are able to turn it over and do the other side. That's another view of it. Then I turned it over and did the other side. And one of the top parts, well, I told you this would happen. If you turn it over too soon, these things aren't stable enough, they're not stiff enough. And one of them started bending in a way I didn't want it to. And still I had more drying to do, so I just put this piece of coconut shell right there to help it while it dried stay in the right shape. So anything you have to do to prop it, whatever it might be, you can do that. Now, this is a picture of some of the different ones that I've made already. You're not near done, you've just got the paper mache on there. Now, that's a picture of one that's done. There's one, there's one, and there's one. Now, this is what I use over the whole thing when I'm completely finished. Mod Podge. It's kind of a glue, and it dries clear. So you put it over the little shiny things that you put on it, because they'll shine right through this Mod Podge. It dries real clear. And I paint mine with this, something like this gold glitter paint. You want to paint it? I got this at Walmart. It's less than $3. All these pretty little, they call them gemstones, but they're plastic, but they're beautiful. And they really catch the light. Okay, now here's a picture. I got so inspired making this one for this demonstration that I said, I'm going to also put together the thing that I learned to make that is called, I call it the Freedom Star. And it's made with that same piece of paper, not unfolded flat, but just you put together 180 of them to make Freedom Star. And 180 is important because it's like in life we do a 180-degree turnaround and begin again at our beginnings. We have to go back to what the ancients knew, began at our beginnings. Go back, and you can't go full circle till you look at what happened in the beginning. Oops, I guess I'm done. That was the last of that. Now I just have orb pictures, but I wanted to tell you that I'm also going to put on here the dove story, how to fold Freedom Star. That's this one right here with 180 of the doves at the diamond stage put together. Because I already have made a video a long time ago of how to make this. So I'll put that in the description bar in case you want to make one of them. But if you do, put a lot of hot glue on it because this caves in real easy. Because you have to put so much of the paper mache on there. And if you try to make something too big, don't try to make it small. Because the bigger something is, the quicker it'll cave in under the weight of wet paper mache. So I will put that into the description bar, the dove story into the description bar, and if you want to go for it, you can make these things. They're real pretty, and give them away or keep them or whatever you want to do with them. And really all you need is hot glue, and you're going to need that Mod Podge and paper mache and tape and paper. And I have a saying, there's nothing so wrong with this world that a lot of hot glue and paper mache and paper and clay or whatever. I use so many mediums. There's nothing so wrong with this world that won't fix it. Because when you're doing this, you just get into a really relaxed mode of being. And you're making something pretty that you can look at. And it just seems like you open your mind to receive more from Spirit when you're in a meditative mode of doing this. I've never done it with a group of people. I would like to, because that would probably enhance the experience much, much more. To make something like this with a group of people. And to have, they have now what they call workshops. Well, I haven't been to many workshops in my life, but I know they're called that. But if I were to have a shop, I wouldn't call it a workshop. I would call it a play shop. Let's get together and play. Anyway, this is the Dove Lady, and I hope to hear from some of you who try to make this or make it. And I love you all. Over and out for now. Bye-bye.